This week I had an amazing opportunity to work with a team and a brand that is incredible and doing some amazing things. And so the fact that I got to bring my family along for the ride this week was so much fun, and we created so many amazing memories. So stick around if you want to find out who I worked with, because this was so much fun. I honestly could not get over how impressed I was by the entire thing. For this, I was making 2 half-sheet cakes because there are 2 teams in particular that I was working with, and so we decided to do something fun yet simple, because after a huge production, you don't want to have to worry about a lot of details and decorations. So for this first cake, I worked with my vanilla cake recipe. I have my vanilla buttercream. I also applied some simple syrup to keep it moist and really soft and delicious. Once I was done filling the cake, I applied a crumb coat with my vanilla buttercream frosting. And then once I was done, I cleaned up the edges and I put my cake in the freezer overnight. The freezer does wonders when you're working with cakes because it locks in all of that moisture and you don't have to worry about any dry air drying your cake out too fast. So once I was done doing this vanilla cake, I then moved on to doing my second cake, which was just a good old-fashioned chocolate cake. So for this one, I start with my triple chocolate cake recipe. Then I put that in the freezer for a few hours to allow it to cool and set up really well. Then I make my chocolate buttercream and my chocolate ganache. So I fill that cake with those 2 ingredients. I do the same exact thing that I did with the vanilla. I do a crumb coat, clean up the sides and the edges, and then I put this cake in the freezer for a little bit to allow that frosting to set up. This girl was so excited for what we were about to do, and so she obviously had to jump in the video. So once I was done doing that, giving all the hugs, I had to make some yellow frosting, and we're applying that yellow frosting to the vanilla cake. For this, you can see in this video how easy this frosting is applied to the cake when it's cold. You don't have to worry about any crumbs. You also don't have to worry about any movement with the cake. So to do this, I'm using my large icing spatula. I also am using a cake scraper and a piping bag full of frosting to fill in any imperfections along the way. The thing that you want to focus most on when you're working with a rectangle cake or a square cake is making sure that you get those edges nice and sharp. And so in this video, you can see I'm putting a lot of time and effort into making sure that they look good and sharp and even. Once I was done doing that, I took my icing spatula, trimmed off the excess frosting around the top, and then it's time for decorations. So like I said at the beginning, I wanted to keep these cakes very simple and easy to work with and easy to eat, because I was working with about 100 men and they were playing baseball and putting on a huge production, and so I knew that they wouldn't want something big and complicated to get into. And so what we did was I just got some piping tips, got different colors of frosting, and worked with the brand colors. And so if you're familiar with these colors or familiar with baseball at all, you might recognize it as the Savannah Bananas. And yes, this was a dream collaboration. I could not have had more fun. So we did a Party Animals and a Savannah Bananas cake for them, and it was just such an amazing evening. I want to thank all of the players, the whole organization, for letting this happen. My kids were able to meet the players and see kind of how it looks on the inside before a game, and I was just so impressed by every single coach and player and employee there. And so a big, huge thank you to the Savannah Bananas and the players for making this event so fun and so special for me and my family. And before I let you go, if you have ever wanted to go and see a game by the Savannah Bananas and the Party Animals and any other Banana Land league, I 100% recommend it. This was so impressive, from every single choreographed dance to the whole entire theme of the night, the special guests, the attention to detail. There was not a dull moment in the night. So once again, thank you so much, Bananaland, for an incredible evening. I look forward to coming to many more games in the future.